Ready.
All right, so this is a 3-pound package of bees. Inside, I don't know if you can see it there, but there's a metal thing right there. That's a can full of sugar syrup that hopefully has been feeding them since they've come from Georgia. So I'm gonna pry the top off and take the queen cage out is the first thing I'm gonna do. All right, so pause for a sec. I'm gonna spray them down with a little bit of sugar syrup, which I just have in this bottle here. So I'm just gonna spray them down. That kind of gets them licking themselves and you know, prevents them from really flying around for a little bit. All right. Okay, so now I'm gonna open the top. There's just a couple of staples holding this puppy on. There's one of them. All right, one. And, all right, 2 staples. All right, when I remove this, some bees will probably come with it. Oh, no, actually this one's, all right, so this is, I've seen a couple like this before. So you can come a little closer. See, this is the sugar syrup can on the top. It's just a can with a bunch of holes poked in it on the sides. So this strap right here, you see that? That's the queen, that's what's holding the queen cage on. So what I gotta do is I just pry up the little staple holding this on there. Usually it's okay. And I'm gonna spray them down a little bit again. This is the part where the bees are gonna come out, so you probably want to stand back a little bit. Because I have to actually lift up this can of sugar syrup that the bees are all clinging to in order to get the queen cage out. So the way I do that is I hold on to the queen cage and I try and move as many bees as I can off of the sugar syrup can. All right, that worked pretty well actually. So there's the sugar syrup can. Holy cow. It's really full. So, I don't know, that's interesting. All right, so here we go. There's, come on, get back in there. All right, so pretty good. Here's the queen cage. Take a look at this. All right, so you see there I have a marked queen. She's the one walking around with the little white thing on her back. You can see her abdomen is quite a bit longer than the other little girls in there with her. Or hopefully it should be. So I'm just gonna, so you just wanna check to make sure queen's in there, chilling, moving around. So this little thing right here is a block of sugar candy. So there's a little cork there on the bottom that I'm gonna try and pry out. If I can't pry it out, I'm gonna have to go. Oh, I've got a pin in my pocket. So I'll pry that out with a pin. And then, so what happens is the bees will eat through the sugar candy after a few days, and hopefully by that point they're acclimated to their new queen there, and they'll you know, appreciate her pheromones and everything, and they'll release her and they'll have allegiance to her. So anyway, so I removed the candy. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to oh, and I should mention, so in here you see there's a few little attendants in there. So I mentioned this before probably. The queen is really, she's not very good at doing anything. She can't go to the bathroom by herself, she can't feed herself, etc. So she's just chilling around there, and these other little guys you see in there are her queen bee attendants. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna insert this. You can come a little closer, no bees are gonna be like, oh no. See, they have this nice little hangy thing for me. Sometimes they don't have that, and I have to like, I don't know, I have to make my own little hangy thing. So what I do here, it's getting kind of dark, huh? Can you see anything still? Mm-hmm. Excellent. So, all right, little bee. I gotta get her off, she's kind of annoying me. Okay, sorry. All right, so I'm just gonna like pin this to the outside here. So, it kind of worked. Actually, let me pin her a little bit further down. So I'll just try and pin her in here. And the goal here is we just want to stick her between the frames, and then we're going to dump all the other bees in there unceremoniously and add the extra frames, and we'll have one frame missing here where the queen cage will live. And then in 2 weeks I'll come check on it. I'll make sure she's released from her cage, and I'll add the final frame back in there. All right, so now let's do the scary part. Well, not so scary part, but Will thinks it's the scary part.
Definitely okay. The scary part.
So I'm just gonna spray them down a little bit more with sugar syrup. so here's where I unceremoniously dump them into the hive. That's really all there is to it. Alright, ladies. Alright, so you'll notice not all the bees are going to go into the hive, right? They'll fly around quite a bit. You can run away, I won't judge you. And then what's left, I'll just put the box next to the hive so they can crawl into the door of the hive over there. Alright, and the other thing you notice, I have my, what do you call it? Entrance reducer on there to the smallest setting so that really they get used to the hive before they decide to venture out in large droves. Okay, so here we go. So I'm gonna do what I did again. I'm gonna shake them down so they get all at the bottom and they're all off the sides of this thing. And then I dump them in. That's kind of all there is to it. All right, ready? Babe?
Ready.
I'm literally just pouring this guy down.
That's not dirt. That's not some other black substance. She is boring bees.
Alright, they're kind of clinging.
There
so
now.
I'll leave the rest of these puppies here, or babies here. Okay, now what I do is I take my frames that I've moved aside, and I wish you could come over here and see this. This is like a big old pile of bees. So you just kind of gently brush them out of the way as you insert these frames. They'll move. It looks like a mass of black swarming insects, which is what it is, but they will move. They don't want to be crushed.
For viewers, I'm too terrified to get closer.
They kind of grab onto, I forget what they call it, but they do grab onto each other. And they form like little bridges. They're really kind of cool. But, so you gotta kind of sweep them out of the way a little bit. So they can grab onto the frames. Alright, 2 more frames. 1. Alright. Sorry, lady. You gotta be kind of gentle when you do this, because you really don't want to squish anybody if you can avoid it. Alright, so now what I do, I put the hive top feeder on that Will brought out here for me. Thank you, Will. This is the hive top feeder. Alright, this lady's a little tenacious.
Tenacious.
I don't want to knock my queen cage off, that's very important. Alright, so I try to sweep it this way so I don't crush any of the bees if I can avoid it. It's a little hard. Okay, I think we're okay. Didn't crush anybody? Are you okay there? There you go, all the way. Oh, I got your leg. Alright, anyway.
5,000 bees, and Lexi's concerned about every single one.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you're mumbling to yourself.
No, I'm talking to the camera.
Okay. So now what I do is I take the sugar syrup that Will again prepared for me. I owe Will. And I'll dump this into the hive top feeder. Oh, you want to listen to this noise? I'll bring the camera a little closer.
Okay.
I'll grab it from you in a minute. Can I grab it from you and show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry for the transition.
If you want to zoom, you can zoom.
No, that's okay. Okay, so here's the bees. So down below there you can see there's a hole left where they're kind of crawling out of. There's a these are the hive top feeders. They're about half full. These little floating things prevent the bees from drowning when they go in the sugar syrup. But can you hear that noise? All right, well, that concludes our story.